Good morning and welcome to a conversion brief. Admin today we're going to be call sign Rocket 503, technical call sign Rage 11. I am going to be the instructor. You are going to be the student. We'll be doing an SC1 today. Rocket 504 is going to be the other jet, technical call sign Eagle 11. I will also be the instructor, and students Jones and Doe will be the students. Joker today is 2.3, Bingo is 2.0, Plan Fuel on Deck is 3.5. Questions of the day will be standard, same as reattacks. DOR and training timeout are in effect. I have no questions. Any questions on admin? Okay. Attack admin. Enemy order of battle. Brief it per reattacks from the briefing guide, the threat of the day. Friendly order of battle. Today we're going to be simulating an F-18 Foxtrot Rhino. Hostile declaration is known enemy contact, weapons release is authorized. Bogey, bandit, and standby are all going to be treated as VID. Bogey is unknown enemy contact, unknown contact, weapons release not authorized. Bandit is known enemy contact, weapons release not authorized. Standby, we need more information. Setups today are going to be 0 to 45 target aspect, 30 nautical miles, 8 to 24,000 feet. For Jinx, between 0 and 22 target aspect, will jink between 8 and 10 nautical miles. For 23 and greater target aspect, they'll happen between 6 and 8 nautical miles. Jinx may not change direction of pass or exceed 50 target aspect. Fighter's going to be at 16,000 feet, 0.5 Mach, at or above Joker before each run. Loadout today is going to be 0 Fox 3s, 2 Fox 1s, 2 Fox 2s. Any questions on TAC admin? Rules today, max cut 90 plus a buster. Bogey bearing must be on the scope no later than 20 nautical miles. Reconversions stop at 14 miles, and the goal today is a successful attack and reattack. Any questions on the rules? TAC conduct. Today, setup is going to be per TAC admin. AIC, after the fight's on call, Gritrock is going to come back and give us the bogey heading. So in this example today, bogey heading 360. And then they're going to give us that initial bra call afterwards, after we commit. So Rage 11 Gritrock, single group bra, 15026 medium maneuver. From there, we will analyze the target aspect and the lat set using the grid. In this case, using our initial setup, we analyze that we have 30 left target aspect, which gives us 90,000 feet of lateral separation on the left. From there, the student will ask the instructor, what is my goal? I will tell you in this case the goal is 10 left target aspect, which translates to 12,000 feet of lateral separation on the left. For game plan today, we're going to be using the 90-60-0-90 game plan. Area 1, going to use a 90 cut, change in direction of pass situation. For Area 2, we're going to be taking a 60 cut away. That is where we need to grow both target aspect and lateral separation. Area 3, we have not enough target aspect, but we do have enough lateral separation, and for Area 3s, we're going to use a 0 cut today. Area 4, we have too much lat sep and too much target aspect. We need to shrink both of those, and we're going to take a 90 cut into for those. Caveats today, if the bogey bearing is within 3 degrees of the goal, we'll make a hard turn to either collision heading or attack heading right away, and that will be our initial conversion. If the change in lateral separation is greater than 45,000 feet, we will add a buster to our 90 cut. If the lateral separation is less than 24, change in lateral separation is less than 24,000 feet, we'll use a 40 cut. Any questions on the game plan? Okay, for turn rates for our game plan today, after we get the initial bra call, we will start the turn with a hard turn and then ease or harden to a hard as pos, depending whether or not we have to pass through the bogey bearing. If we're not going to pass through the bogey bearing, we will ease to a standard. If we are going to pass through the bogey bearing, we will increase to a hard as possible turn. We will check our buster, whether or not we need it per the caveats, and ensure that we have the buster in there. Recommend setting the buster first, and then getting the turn rate out there afterwards. Spiel in this case, based on the game plan and the AIC information we've been given, our steady heading in this case is going to be 090 with a buster. Goal bearing is 170, and the attack heading is 160. From there, we will make sure that we have the radar slewed in the direction of turn. We begin searching for the contact if his bearing is going to be on the scope once we roll out. Once we do get the bandit on the scope, we'll go ahead and make a bra call. get a declaration, lock him once we're correlated, and then select aim 7. We will begin our target aspect analysis once the bandit is on the scope and determine when or if we need to do any reconversions. For reconversions today, first of all, any turn after the initial conversion is considered to be a reconversion. For today, we're going to be using the reconversion rule of thumb, which means for every 1 degree we're off of our goal bearing, we will take a cutaway of 10 degrees. The cut will depend on what we want to do with the lat sep and target aspect. Over here at the table, if we need to decrease lat sep and decrease target aspect, we will take a cut greater than collision. If we need to decrease lat sep and maintain target aspect, we'll take a cut that is equal to collision. If we need to decrease lat sep and increase target aspect, we'll take a cut into that's less than collision. And if we want to preserve lat sep but increase target aspect, we'll make a 0 cut. And if we want to increase both lat sep and target aspect, we will take a cut away. The diagram down here, this is the fighter, this is the bandit's flight path. These numbers correspond to the different types of cuts that we can be taking today for the reconversions. Any questions on reconversions? Okay, for lat sep gates, this is where you will both explain what type of lat sep calculations you're going to be using or lat sep gate methods, also how you're going to be doing those, whether it is quarters, rounding, or real time. So tell us both what type of method you're going to use and how you're going to be doing that real time. For leading the turn to attack heading, we're going to use the 1 degree for every 20 degree rule of thumb. So that means for every 20 degrees of heading change to attack heading, we're going to lead the goal bearing by 1 degree today. At 20 nautical miles, we have to make sure this is when our bogey bearing must be on the scope no later than. 18 miles, if the contact is still not on the scope, we'll go to AZ full and 20-mile scale. 15 nautical miles, if the contact is not on the scope, and we've heard 3 consecutive calls from Gitrok that the bandit is high or low, then we may climb or descend without the contact on the scope at this time. We will also continue with altitude analysis, standard from reattacks at this time. 14 nautical miles, reconversions stop for all areas. However, we can still move the jet in 5 situations. Either if we need to turn to attack heading, lead, a 0 cut, collision, or turn to keep him on the scope. At 14 and 12 nautical miles, our timeline splits. Today, for our example, we're going to be using the numbers on the left side of the timeline. We will continue with our target aspect analysis and begin our lead turn game plan, which is standard from reattacks. At 12 nautical miles, we'll turn to lead, select aim 7. If we have a valid shot and we've met the valid aim 7 criteria from reattacks, we'll go ahead and make the shot ourselves. So in this case, the student would say, Rage 1-1, Fox 1. If we haven't gotten a declaration yet, then we will try to get another declaration. From this point, we will make our displacement turn game plan. Also, this is the no later than point to check your buster. You want to take your buster out anytime that you're turning to attack heading, lead, you're on a 0 cut, you're on collision, or if you know that you're assured of reaching your goal. At 10 nautical miles, if the bandit is still not on the scope, we'll go ahead and select ACM slewable. At 10 nautical miles, we will do our displacement turn. For counter turns today, we will assess as we're in the counter turn if it's hot or cold. Counter turns will be hot by one of a few ways. If the bandit jinks into us, it'll be hot. Also, if we under displace or displace late, the bandit will also be hot. Cold counter turns can be caused by either a bandit jinking away from us, either us displacing too early, or over displacing. We will also select aim 9 at this point. Jink recognition will recognize a jink today by, if it is a jink into, the bandit jinking, the target aspect vector swinging into us, or over time the target aspect stagnating, also increasing rate of closure. If the target aspect vector swings away from us, we know it is a jink away, or if the rate of closure rapidly decreases, this is also an indication of a jink away. Our reaction today, if we notice that the bandit jinks away to or into us, away from us or into us, we will immediately turn 30 degrees either into or away from him. If it is a jink away, we will turn 30 degrees onto the hot side of the scope to heat him up. If it's a jink into, we'll turn 30 degrees onto the cold side to cool him down. From there, we'll adjust as necessary to meet our rate of closure gates. And at 10 miles, we will also begin our arrow calls. 8 miles is min displacement. At 5 miles, we'll begin our rate of closure gates. 5 miles, expect to see 500 knots, 4 miles, 450, 3 miles, 400, and 2 miles, 300 knots. At 2 nautical miles, we expect to see the Bandit 90 degrees to go on the nose, 300 knots rate of closure. At between 1.5 and 0.5 miles, this is where if we have a valid declaration, we've met all our other AIM-9 criteria standard for marine attacks, we will pass the dot in the rear quarter for the Fox 2. If we still need another declaration, or if it's declared bogey, we will get a VID at this point, standard for marine attacks. Inside a half a mile, be a break-X situation, and we will go ahead and execute our break-X procedure standard from marine attacks. Any questions on attack conduct? All right. For contingencies, all are going to remain the same standard from re-attacks, but you want to go ahead and brief them the same way that you did for re-attacks. The only exception is target aspects greater than 49 are going to turn into cold 100s. You will stop your conversion procedures and run it as a cold 100 as you did in re-attacks at that point. Other contingencies are going to be standard from there. Any questions on contingencies? Okay, wrap up today. Again, we're going to be Rocket 503, tactical call sign Rage 11. We're doing a SC1 today.